1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing on that intro. And if you want to get that song, tap in, hit me up on my email, 16tolifemusic@gmail.com, and I'm going to give you the information on how to get it. Now, let's hop into this video. So today I'm going to be doing a reaction to a video that's basically giving you a tour of San Quentin. Now, I believe that this video was released somewhere around 2001. At one point in time in the California state prison system, San Quentin had an extremely notorious reputation, you know, especially just due to the amount of people that it housed. And it was old and all the blind spots, right? Now, it is no longer, as the reputation at least, is no longer nearly as dangerous as it once was. Not to say that it's still not dangerous, because any prison is dangerous, especially when you have a large number of individuals there, and a lot of these individuals have a propensity for violence. But after California started building some of these more maximum security prisons known as 180s, I believe Pelican Bay was built like in 89. Then after that, you know, you had Calipatria, High Desert, Centinela, Lancaster. The focus started changing on where some of these more dangerous inmates was being sent, right? So now they're starting to send these dudes to these level, you know, these high level prisons. And I believe at some point in time, I don't know exactly when, they changed San Quentin from basically like a regular prison to like a reception prison, meaning that when you would first come from your county jail after receiving your time, you would come through here to be evaluated and sent out. But anyway, let's get into this video, and it's still going to give you a look at the harsh life that a convict has to face on a day-to-day basis.
At 150 years old, San Quentin State Prison is one of the most famous, one of the most notorious penitentiaries in the world. It is steeped in history, a very violent one. Today, its walls are crumbling. The institution has become outdated, contributing directly to an overwhelming increase in both the number and severity of brutal assaults by inmates. MSNBC was granted unprecedented access, including a never-before look inside California's vicious death row. San Quentin opened in 1852 and today seems physically trapped in the century in which it was conceived. Old and decrepit, San Quentin is riddled with shadowy alcoves and blind spots. There are no electrified lethal fences. The towers around the perimeter must still be staffed, where incredibly there are fewer surveillance cameras than a single convenience store. And worse yet, a lack of modernization has put officers in constant risk of inmate attack.
Every day I walk through those gates, the thought crosses my mind, is today going to be the last?
Customers! Come on, step up. Hey, spread your cheeks. Move on.
Bring it wide and towards me.
Okay, starting with your right thumb, you're going to roll your fingers across the scanner.
Now, where these dudes just came into is what's known as R&R, which stands for receiving and release. It's where you go when you enter, and it's where you go when you leave. And so when you get off the bus, coming from reception center, which is the prison that they send you to after you're convicted in the county jail, or when you're coming from another prison. You always have to go through R&R to get processed.
Enemies? None. Gangbanger? Share a cell with another man? No problem?
That's all right with me.
Once evaluated, the newcomers are placed in one of San Quentin's 4 cell blocks. Each cell block holds up to 800 inmates in cells that are stacked on tiers, 5 high.
It's a 9x6 cell.
Now, when I first came to prison, I didn't come to a prison like this. I came to Salinas Valley, which was more of a modern prison, and actually the prison was brand new and it just opened. Now, if I had came to a prison like this, I definitely would have been intimidated, because this prison has the look that you see in some of these older prison shows, you know, with all these massive tiers and different people looking out the cell and just staring and asking you where you from and all that stuff. It definitely would have been a intimidating situation.
Now, I can put my hand from here to here, and I can't even stretch my arms all the way out.
Somebody wants to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I got to sit down.
I might have to come up like this. Or either you can just turn to this side right here and walk this way.
Yeah,
Side
this is
by
how
side
you do
like
it.
this here.
You do your
and
back
go to
that
the
way.
bar.
Newsflash. If you in a cell like this and you got a cellie that insists on passing back to belly, that's extremely strange, and it's time to request an immediate cell change. Now back to normal programming.
This is what I do. I just take my t-shirt, grab my bar of soap, dip it in the toilet, because I keep my toilet fresh and clean. I hold my hand over the toilet. Once the toilet fills up, it's fresh water now. Then I can just rinse it. As far as the cooking, we just...
Now that was crazy, right? I was just as shocked as you guys was when I seen that for the first time. People washing their clothes in the toilet. I mean, I still remember to this day, I was so shocked by it that I wrote home and told somebody about it in my family. Dudes actually wash their clothes in the toilet, but they have a lot of cleaning products in there. They keep the toilet extremely clean. After every use, they clean it with the the cleaning supplies and stuff that they get, and that's where they do their laundry. So being in prison is definitely extremely shocking.
Use a can, an empty Coke can, wrap the toilet paper. You keep wrapping it, tuck it in on both sides. Sit it on the edge of the toilet, because it's got to breathe. As you see, it's like a fire. And you hold your can up here and you cook.
Now that was a bong right there. People use those bongs for various things. Like he just showed you right there, you can use it to cook. Some people use it to melt plastic in order to make knives. You know, it can be used for a plethora of different things.
At San Quentin, using fish lines is the customary way for locked up inmates to share food, tobacco, information, anything.
Fish lines are throughout the institution. I mean, that's a common practice of the inmates. It's their way of getting something from this cell to that cell. They rip up bed sheets. Sometimes they'll get real fine ones by taking their clothing apart and get like a thread size fish line going. They'll usually anchor it with a piece of soap or something that slides well down the tier. And then they'll send everything from cigarettes to full newspapers to any information that they're trying to pass, drugs, all kinds of things they'll pass with fish lines.
The design of San Quentin cell blocks expose officers to inmate assault.
With the age of the building, the way it's set up, almost anything you do, you're in direct contact with the inmate.
When it's time for the inmates to go to the showers or to the dining hall, an entire tier is released simultaneously. An officer uses an original antiquated key called a spike to unlock each cell door, one by one. Only then can the doors on that tier be released with the push of a mechanical bar. The feeding of inmates always poses one of the greatest risks for violence at San Quentin. San Quentin's lack of modernization places inmates within striking distance of officers and other inmates. Among the 6,000 inmates at San Quentin, more than 3,000 general population inmates eat their meals in the dining hall.
On most nights, there'll be 2 officers in the dining hall. There'll be anywhere from like 200 to 400 inmates. There's no guns in any dining hall, and all we have is our pepper spray and our communication skills.
Now imagine being sitting in that chow hall, somebody reaches over somebody's tray, somebody says something to disrespect somebody of another race, and a riot jumps off. You just heard him say it's only 2 officers in the chow hall, and it's anywhere between 2 to 400 convicts up in there. So the first thing that the guards up in there is going to do is they going to get up out of there. They going to run up out of there and lock the door. So now you're left in there fighting with 200 to 300 people fighting, knives, throwing trays back and forth, hard cups and stuff, until the police can go and reorganize and come up in there and force. So you might be up in there fighting for 15, 20 minutes, possibly even longer. So the chow hall is definitely a dangerous place.
On this day, prison intelligence has warned officers that a gang-related attack might occur at dinner. Reprimand for not fulfilling a direct order.
Tonight, we're expecting some type of problems, possibly, so we have extra coverage tonight to provide security.
Let me just see right there, man. That officer that they showed right there, I'm pretty sure I know him from somewhere. The Mexican officer.
We're expecting some type of problems, possibly, so we have extra coverage.
That guy right there, he looks extremely familiar. I could be mistaken, but he looks extremely familiar.
Tonight to provide security.
They asked them to participate in their gang. If they refuse, they are disciplined, and the discipline being slashed.
It doesn't matter how much staff we have, they will erupt if it's going to.
Officers are tense, watching for any signs of trouble. Pepper spray is at the ready. Sure enough, the alarm sounds. Prison-wide, inmates sit down according to protocol. Officers catch a man attempting to conceal his homemade slashing weapon. Fortunately, a violent act was avoided this time.
All right, okay.
In this cell block, inmates housed here are considered too violent to be permitted to leave their cells. So it's the officers who must deliver the food cell by cell.
This is one of the most dangerous areas in the institution. There's that clear and present danger as soon as you step on the tier, and it doesn't go away.
Officer Tony Jones has worked these tiers for 14 years, and he knows what inmates here are capable of. A modern prison would have solid doors to protect officers during feedings. But here, the cell fronts are open, allowing inmates the opportunity to assault officers in perhaps the most unsavory way possible.
The absolute worst thing that can happen to you is to have that gassing, is what we call it. It's a mixture of feces and urine, sometimes fermented for days. until it stews into something that is so grotesque you can't mention it, and that is thrown on the officer through the bars. A lot of these guys are infected with hepatitis C, HIV, and many other diseases. I'd rather be punched, I'd rather be kicked, I'd rather be stabbed than to be gassed like I was back in '92.
Incredible as it may seem, officers at San Quentin say that there's an attempted assault on their lives almost every day.
They look for vulnerable spots. They look for times when you do let your guard down.
On last Friday, we had 2 incidents.
It's nearly 7 a.m. in San Quentin, and officers gather in the courtyard for a briefing regarding a series of recent assaults they feel may be related. So they've organized an extensive cell search for hidden makeshift weapons.
Now, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do a search line. Pat them all down, have them take off their shoes. They might be packing on the way in there. They'll be searched and fed.
After breakfast, the inmates are moved to the yards where they will stay until officers can complete their search.
We're looking for makeshift weapons, bed springs, anything with the razors, anything that they can slash these guys with or even stab them with.
The operation is broken up into several 2-person teams.
Well, Megan, I guess I'll get the top, huh?
You get the top, you're the tall guy.
Officers David Hamilton and Megan McGee each have years of experience at second-guessing where inmates like to hide contraband.
Okay, I found 2 razors that were removed, the blades were removed from the disposable razors, and these can be melted into a toothbrush handle. Use this real good slashing instruments, because those are solid, very sharp razors right there.
Here's another one.
And looks like my partner's found another one.
This was manufactured from a bed spring. They pry a portion of their bed spring off of the bunk rail, they straighten it, they sharpen it, and this inmate used string for the handle. These weapons are very well made, extremely sharp, very deadly weapons.
We got about a 2 to 4 inch piece of bed spring that's missing out of here.
It's not red painted.
That's right.
Bottom. We spray painted with red paint. That means it's already been noted, so it's not new and hasn't been fixed yet. So like that one down there doesn't have red paint. That's one we just found out about.
This weapon, for instance, very crudely made. Magazines rolled. This is a spear, and as you can see, it's pretty rigid. This inmate lodged a metal screw for the tip. When the officer or inmate walks by the cell, the spear is thrust out.
You wouldn't think that a rolled up newspaper or magazine would make that good of a handle, and it does. Very effective.
This is known as a zip gun. This portion of the zip gun is filled with match heads, ground up match heads. A plunger is used to push shrapnel, pieces of metal, ground up zippers, tacks it down. When his target walks by, the inmate would light those 2 fuses. Basically what you have is a double-barrel shotgun.
It's an old joint. You can hide stuff anywhere, like at the I-beams up here. I'm going to go out and check these. It's just a beam. You walk under it every day, but the best place, somebody's walking to the chow hall. And a lot of guys will know where it is, but they're not going to tell because they don't want to get killed. They don't want to get hurt for ratting. I guess you can't reach up there, can you? I'll get them.
You just had to point that out, didn't you, partner?
I can't help it. I call them like I see them.
By 10 a.m., search teams had confiscated several homemade weapons, including sharpened bed springs and blades. The search was a success, and as a result, several prisoners will be prosecuted.
Now, when they say as a result, several prisoners will be prosecuted, so what happens is they're going to file what's known as a DA referral, and they send a referral or basically a summary of what just happened to the local district attorney of whatever state that you're in, or excuse me, whatever county that you happen to be in. And if that district attorney deems it worthy, they will charge you with possession of a weapon, somewhat similar to the same thing that would happen if you were on the street free and you caught a criminal case. Then you will be going back and forth. They'll transport you in a prison van back and forth to court, until the situation is resolved. And
This is death row, where the method of execution is lethal injection. Today, the condemned population has grown to a staggering 581, well beyond San Quentin's ability to handle them. This forced death row to expand into 3 additional cell blocks, never designed for such violent inmates. Warden Jeannie Woodford understands the challenges that confront death row.
As the number of condemned come in, it's just created a situation with this physical plant, with the open cell fronts, their ability to communicate with each other and pass on gang information. It just makes it very difficult to manage that population.
now I have a friend who is on death row. Well, actually, death row is no longer. They put a moratorium or a halt to the death penalty killings in the state of California. So actually now they shut down death row, and they have shipped out all these individuals who at one point in time were on death rows to different prisons. Some of them level 4s, some of them level 3s, and some of them even level 2s. So just imagine being on death row for the last 20, 25, 30 years, and then suddenly they send you to a level 2, and now you're out programming, going outside, walking around, buying sodas, and doing things that individuals on the level 2 do.
The most sadistic death row inmates are isolated in the adjustment center, where assaults are almost ritual.
In the last year, it's probably tripled, and not only in numbers, but in seriousness. Just some very serious incidents have happened here.
In one recent 18-month period, 45 of the 85 inmates at the adjustment center have successfully attacked staff. The number of attempts, off the charts.
Mentality of most inmates in this unit is, I'm on death row, there's nothing you can do to me. If I assault you today, there's nothing they'll do to me tomorrow.
Now, when I talked to my homie who probably had been on death row at least probably 16 to 17 years before they shut it down, he happened to be up there, and he met in person Tookie Williams and done some time with him, as well as several other famous Crips and Bloods in California who are on death row. And I asked him about the level of violence because, like the dude said, you know, these dudes would appear to be the ultimate prisoner in terms of reaching the highest pinnacle of security in California. You know, they're not on a level 4, they're on death row. But my homie told me there was not a whole lot of violence up there, like you would think, for individuals who are on death row. For the most part, those individuals up there on death row were doing like prisoners in other prisons. They were doing the exact same thing, filing appeals and trying to get out. So while it seems like individuals would feel that they are in a hopeless situation, you had many dudes up there not necessarily feeling the same thing. People are up there filing appeals, doing their time, trying to come home like everybody else.
That's their mentality. You can only kill me once.
Just like in general population, one of the most volatile times at the adjustment center is mealtime.
Morning, sir. Morning.
It's a typical morning. Correctional officers are arriving to start their shift.
Can't have bad breath, you know. Don't want an inmate to get upset.
They get ready to serve breakfast to the death row inmates.